Hey guys, this is,
Woodrow Music.
and he's going to ask me some questions about my song.
Who am I?
Yes,
So what's the song about?
the song is about 3 different states of like anxiety and depression. You know, the first verse is basically just social anxiety. You know, like the I won't approach you because who am I? You know, it's like who am I in the sense like who am I compared to you?
Yes.
Kind of thing. You know, like you feel kind of on a lower level compared to
Distant.
someone else, distant. Yeah. Second verse.
I feel so small.
Yeah, so this is basically just like having anxiety or depression, and like everyone's around you, but you don't feel like you're with people. You just feel like you're being surrounded by something.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay, and then we got
Who are you? Who am I? What are we? I can't see.
that bit specifically is when I wrote this song, I was just coming out of a pretty bad depressive episode. Like I never went outside. I was always in bed. I felt so low. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to like be asleep for as long as possible because I didn't like being awake. You know, and those were kind of questions that would float around in my mind. You know, like they're simple questions, but the answer to them aren't that simple. You know, like there could be a lot to say about each one of those questions. So it's kind of just like being in a state of complete despair and not knowing anything, like even the simplest thing of what's going on.
Break the chain you welded with pain.
Yeah, so that's also related to anxiety. Because for me, whenever I have anxiety, it just feels like I'm being held back from all the things I feel like I could do if I didn't have to deal with it. You know? Because like there was a point in my life where just going outside for any reason would give me a panic attack. Like the safest place I felt was in my room because I knew exactly what was going to happen. There was no like blind corners or anything. Like everything was there how it always is. It was just a
Nothing
nice
unknown.
place to be. Nothing could attack me, I guess. But looking back on it, it very much was a case of my anxiety holding me in a prison cell, which was my room. And at the time, I didn't really know I was being held back.
So what was your process for the instrumentals?
So, the chord progression, I came up with that a couple months before I actually ended up recording it. Because, like, my process with making songs, I make a melody I like, and I base the lyrics off how I'm feeling at the time. And if it contradicts with like how the melody goes, like if the melody's happy but the lyrics are sad, it's like, you know what, I'll go with it because you know it's fun to mess around with that kind of stuff. Here's a fun fact though, the melody you hear in the right ear for most of the song, I came up with that way back when, like a couple of years ago, and I had no idea what to do with it. So it was just sitting on the stove, no heat going for a while, you know. Then I made this chord progression and I was like, hang on a minute, this kind of works. So that's how that came about. I had no intention of those ever connecting, but it did, and I think it sounds quite cool. I think that's probably enough to go off.
So what advice would you give to listeners tuning into the song? What would enhance the listening experience?
Wear headphones. Thanks for watching.
Also subscribe to Woodrow Music.
He makes
Music. You can stream Woodrow Music Journey, which is on the Artsaid 2025 album now.
And I'm also on the Artsaid 2025 album. Fancy Coat is on there. Also, make sure to check me out on YouTube. This is on YouTube, so you should already be checking me out. And on SoundCloud, link in the description. We also have our own project going on called Strange Winters. There will be stuff on that over the coming months, so look for that.
Follow it on Instagram, Strange Winters Band _official.
And the link will also be in the description.
Yes.
Until
cool stuff.
Until next time.
Cheerio!
Bye.